What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Bull Season 1, Episode 16, Free Falling. I'm a free falling. I'm sorry. It just, whenever I hear it, I was told that as a child, I love that song. I don't know why, especially because, I'm really I'm not scared of heights, but any sort of dropping motion, aside, roller coasters I'm fine, but if you put me on one that just drops straight down, I can't stand them. So the fact that I love that song doesn't make. Where am I going with this? This isn't even about the show at all. So yeah, this is the 16th episode, Free Fall, and I find it very interesting to see, kind of looking up the ratings and stuff. I like to do this from pretty much any time that I'm about to watch an episode of something. I like to look up the reviews if I'm watching it a few days after or a day after, just to see kind of what the general consensus is. Because for the most part, IMDb, I don't really look at the rating system as on a scale of 1 to 10. I really have to look at it as what's been the average for this season. What have I come to expect? So, for instance, Supergirl. I come to expect that anything 8.0 or 8 anything from 8.0 to 8.5 is like an average episode, which for me probably I won't like a lot about it because honestly it's not my type of show. It's very girl centered. Um, so anything below an 8.0 though, I tend to realize, okay, so that means it's probably really really bad. Like even the people that enjoy this show are probably not liking it. So on this, it's been very interesting to see kind of most of it's been 7.5 to 8.0. A couple times it's dropped below 7.5, and those are the ones that I have found some issues with. But this one, actually, the past couple I've noticed this. The initial reaction is always much lower than what it ends up being, and sometimes you'll see this in the opposite effect. Some episodes of like The Walking Dead or Supergirl or just the ones that have the mega fan bases or the fan bases that are just they want to love this so much. You see shows like this all the time. All of a sudden, the night that it airs, you'll see ratings of like 9.0, 9.5, stuff like that. Arrow I've seen given a 9.0 like before it's even aired because people just want to give it such good ratings. I'm just like, how is this even possible? With this show, it's actually the opposite. It always starts off really low, like 6 point something. And this one started off as like a 6.1, and eventually now it's worked its way up, and now it's a 7.3, which I still think is low for this episode. Because I feel like it's almost like because this sort of thing has probably been done before in other trial shows or something like that. I don't know, it's like this show is really getting the respect it deserves. And it's not anything special, it's nothing mind blowing, but it's a well worked show. I think they've done a very good job. They put effort into it week after week. It's not like something that they're just spitting out crap week after week. I truly do enjoy watching this show. Even the ones that have been bad still have had elements that I really enjoy. So I just find it bizarre that, obviously, this has nothing to do with my opinion, but I just find it bizarre that not enough people really looking at the show and be like, you know what, it's a good show. It's pretty good. So, on to this episode. One of the best parts about it is, of course, seeing that Liberty now kind of standing on her own 2 feet and doesn't need Bull to help her win a case. She's trying this case, and we see Bull sees that, but disagrees with her assessment, and so is now trying the opposite side of the case. And so it's Liberty versus Bull for the first time. And that just adds an element, a little bit of spice to it, because Liberty knows Bull's tactics. And so watching her pick the jury, she's going up exactly the opposite of whatever Bull wants. So, Bull has his attorney ask questions. Liberty will get up and ask the exact opposite and get them off the stand. So it was very fun to see that part of it. But all in all, I mean, the case itself was pretty interesting. It was a little bit more of, I would say it's a little bit more of a mystery, but in truth, they still didn't really give us clues to help us figure it out, so they didn't really treat it like a murder mystery. It was still mainly focused on the trial. And honestly, talked really about one of the things in trials that nobody really talks about, except in like Phoenix Wright games, and that is the lawyers going head to head and bringing out the truth. Because we see there's a moment where Bull suspects the new mayor that's coming in for sabotaging the parachute that killed the previous mayor. And so they question him. They realize that the old mayor had an affair with this new mayor's wife, and so now it looks like he has motive. But then next thing you know, Liberty's bringing up the fact that, on the video, and all of this information that the old mayor was apparently shutting down the guy who owned the place that died as well. He was shutting down his business, and we see in the video he says, "I can't let this happen." And so it looks like, oh, so maybe he's the one that sabotaged it but had a change of heart in midair. And so now all of a sudden it looks like he's the culprit. Well, based on all of this and based on the pressure from Bull, from Liberty, the attorney that Bull was backing to win this case, he admits, because he was the brother of the guy that died, he admits that he's the one that tried to sabotage the mayor's parachute. And so now the truth gets revealed. And it's because of them clashing. And if you've never played a Phoenix Wright game, you've probably never heard of this before. But this is something that I think this is how the judicial system should be working. Lawyers fight for their clients, prosecutors fight to win their case. And in the end, they bring out all the facts, and by the end of it, we realize what the truth is. And that's kind of what happened. That's how this case worked. And ultimately, even though it didn't really work out how Bull had planned it, in the end, he still wins the case. He still manages to help this woman who owns the parachuting or skydiving place and keeps her from losing her business. So, all in all, it all worked out okay. So there's still that kind of nothing's really worked out poorly so far. That is one thing that I hope that they start to look at and say, okay, maybe we can change it up a little bit and say not everything works out all the time. Because, in life, sometimes the right people end up... Benny's storyline is probably the best example of that. Sometimes innocent people end up in jail. Sometimes innocent people end up getting the shaft. And part of that is just, that's how the system works. Sometimes it's not set up that way. And I feel like every single time they've managed to find some sort of loophole, or they've managed to find some sort of out that helps their client in the best way possible. Even the one where the woman lost the ability to be in the army, it was still like, but we're gonna let her be a part of the army for another year. So it was like, it wasn't really a truly 100% sad ending. It was more like 75% sad. So I think that's something they need to look at going forward, that sometimes they will lose cases, sometimes things won't work out, sometimes there will be something sad that happens at the end, because we really haven't gotten that yet. So, all in all, that part of it, the case, was very interesting. I think they handled it very well. But, like I said, the other part of it is Benny and what's going on with him. I think there's this element of the unknown going into it. Like, we don't really know what's going to happen here. So we see Benny has been, he's being investigated, and so it's like, okay, what's going on? Turns out to be a murder case. And then we start to realize that the guy, there's been DNA testing that has kind of proven this guy is innocent, that Benny put away for murder a while ago. So that's very interesting. I don't know where this is going. I don't know if this is going to be like a main episode going forward. If there's going to be a whole episode about this guy, and if they're going to retry the case or something, or going to figure out who actually did it, or if this guy was actually innocent or not. But I love this sort of uncertainty of what's going to happen here. It adds a little bit of mystery to it all. And honestly, that's kind of what this show needs. They need something to propel it forward, and I think they've done a very good job of building it up, throwing in these little bits. He gets served this investigation notice, and then we find out about it's a murder case, and then we find out about the murder case in this one and what actually happened. So they've slowly been building it up every episode, and I really think they've handled it very well. The other couple things to talk about in this one, there's a little thing with Danny and this one guy. I guess apparently she broke up with that one guy that we were talking about in the other episode, where she was very controlling of him, just out of nowhere. I wonder if this is kind of going to be another NCIS thing, where, like, if you didn't watch NCIS, one of the characters on the team was always in a relationship, and it felt like every single time he sort of had a, ooh, I really like this girl moment. it felt like 3 episodes later they're talking about, oh, what happened to so and so. He's like, we didn't really work out. Next thing you know, he's on to another girl. I wonder if that's going to be the same thing here with this team. You know, like we saw Cable had this one guy that she was with. We see Danny used to be with Gabe, and now she's hitting on this other FBI agent, and so they're kind of hitting it off. It's just like, do we really care? Or is this just something to kind of be like, ooh, side characters get some time? Because all in all, I mean, while her story at first was interesting, when they turned it into kind of a romance, it was like, well, that's dumb. Because honestly, you know, she gets information from the FBI agent. He says, don't use it in court. This is an ongoing investigation. She uses it anyway, but ultimately this leads to, I can't talk to you. I got you this little drink. I can't accept that from you, but it's your favorite. Okay, I'll take it from you. It's like, it's like a romantic comedy in the middle of this pretty sad and emotional trial where 2 people died, and I'm just like, this is not needed. So that part of it was done. The other part of it was mainly Marissa and Bull, and they're kind of, we're seeing more and more that they're not 100% a great team at all times. You know, in this one we see Marissa doesn't agree with Bull. She thinks that he's kind of losing sight of the case. She thinks that he's taking this to sort of say, oh, Liberty's not using me. Well, I need to force myself into this case. So we see that Marissa doesn't always agree with Bull, and I'm starting to wonder if we're going to get more, I guess, expanding on their relationship and what exactly their working relationship is like overall. Because we've seen from time to time, you know, most of the time they work out okay. You know, they work out together, they're fine. But in this one, we definitely saw a lot more separation in their ideas. So I wonder if we're going to get a little bit more on that going forward. But all in all, you know, like I said, I really did enjoy this episode. I think they did a lot of things very well. And it just kind of makes me surprised that it's not really getting any sort of recognition. You know, I really do think that they are putting a lot of effort in this. You know, it's not, like I said, it's not anything special. It's not this amazing trial show, but it is enjoyable. You know, it's another, kind of like how NCIS is, and I shouldn't be surprised because Michael Weatherly is involved in CBS. But they generally have these shows where it's not great. It's not anything that's going to make you go, ooh, that's really good. But it has its moments. You know, it will have moments like that where you're like, wow, this is a really good show. NCIS has that from time to time. But all in all, I mean, these simple episodes where things aren't really intense and things aren't really, ooh, that's gripping. These episodes are still enjoyable. You know, they're still enjoyable to watch. The cases themselves are, they're interesting. They're keeping them very diverse, so it's not always this one thing. I mean, this one turned out to be what looked like just a case of negligence turns into a sabotage/murder case. Murder case. So I really do enjoy what they're doing with it. I hope they continue on this path. And honestly, I hope this show starts to get a little bit more recognition that it deserves. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I'm sorry I've been like clearing my throat. Pollen season's back in, so apologize for that. But let me know what you guys think. What did you like and dislike about this episode? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all the good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Bull reviews. And I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.